Good morning, gorgeous women. I am here this morning with Mona and Josephine, and they are in the most lovely setting over there, 6 meters apart, 2 meters apart, 6 feet apart. And I was hoping, ladies, I know you both on a very, very surface level, but I wanted you to introduce yourselves a little bit more in depth and tell us a little bit about where you come from and how you came to be in this world of music.
I'm Josephine Huedephol, and I grew up in the Stony Plain area on a very small little farm, and music was a huge part of our family, and we sang all the time and played piano. Guitars didn't enter until later in our life, and then I decided to pursue a career in teaching children music, and I've been at Meridian for the last 13 years, and that's where I'm at. I sing in a couple of choirs. My favorite thing to do is make music with my siblings and our children, so my children and their children, and get together and just find a little bit of joy that way. So that's me on the music side of things, and this is my lovely sister, not daughter. That has happened before.
So my background is very similar because we grew up together making music with our family and with our kids. I'm a teacher at Memorial Composite, but I'm on a leave this year. Actually, was supposed to be in Australia right now, but obviously that didn't happen. So yeah, and I teach choral music, and we sing in choirs together and make our own music happen as well.
Talk a little bit about during this time period, what have some of your reflections been around music and well-being?
It's crucial for me. The creating of it, sitting down at the piano just to play a song for the sake of playing a song in this whole COVID thing. At the very start of it, my husband lost his mother, and so we've still been going to where his father lives and bringing our guitars, and that means some healing and some joy. We were talking yesterday, Mona and I, about Mona was sitting down to play Bach, she said.
Yeah, I have found it's one of the most mindful things you can do to be making music. Like, it really brings you into the present. You can't worry about the future. You can't lament the past. So I have found just actually being active in music making. And for me, that's singing and piano. And I thought, I need like a challenge. Like, I don't want to just sit down and doodle. I need something that will actually draw my brain in to shut out the future and the past and the anxiety and the whatever. So for me, that was choosing some challenging rep. And I got out my book of Bach preludes, and I've just been like, okay, let's figure out this fugue. Okay, yep, I'm right into it. So for me, it's been really an active process, although for my children, it's been listening. They just love to listen, and they're requesting to have music on when they wouldn't normally. Like, we don't usually have music on in the house, but, they want it on all the time. And they're really pursuing their interests. Like, oh, that was interesting. Can I search up more that's like that? So for them, it's been listening. They do not like actively being involved because getting them to practice the piano is a nightmare.
Well, I think that's pretty funny though, but you could probably speak to that a little bit before. I know you've prepared something for us and I'm so excited, but you could probably speak to us right now around, families that are going to watch this, or teachers who have children, and that formalized practice of music right now. What is that? What would your recommendations be around, play-based music versus, skill-based repetition during this time?
That's an excellent question. And I can't speak for other families, but for my kids, it's about play-based. It's about creativity. It's about exploration. It's not about drilling. It's not about skill building. It's just about using it as an outlet, I think, more so than a disciplined learning style, which obviously has value. But right now, that's not where my kids' heads are at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my teenager is not there either. He doesn't want to drill things, but he's happy to sit with me for even 10 minutes to learn a new chord on the guitar. And, you know, just run through it and explore the sounds and then let it go and come back another time. But interestingly, I have several students that I meet with every week, my choir kids that are in junior high, and some of them are delving into music that they have not been able to before. The things that these junior high kids are able to share because they have the time to sit and practice the piano.
Right.
They have the time to write songs. Grade 9 students writing songs about quarantine, she shared with us on Monday.
Oh, that's great.
So fabulous. Like one girl in grade 8 making sounds on a ukulele that I didn't think were possible. And she's fabulous.
So cool.
So cool. So there is that side, but then there's the other side where kids are picking up instruments. We actually touch on that a little bit later about picking up the instruments.
Continue on, ladies. I'm all yours.
Well, I guess we wanted to talk. We introduced ourselves. So that was you handled that for us. So thank you. The next thing that we wanted to kind of talk about were some of the things that are happening worldwide with music. When the COVID thing first started, we all kind of cried a little bit when we saw the people on the balconies in Italy singing. And it turns out that there's people across the world doing this sort of thing. So we've got, what did you call it? Living Room Live?
Yeah, Living Room Live, if you're on Facebook. They have a series of classical musicians that are putting on concerts from their living room. You can YouTube or Facebook group.
Yeah.
You've got some examples there.
They're in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is huge in the classical music world. And they have streets where everyone comes out and just kind of stands in their street, all families together, but everyone's spread out, and they just sing rounds, ones that are really simple to learn, and they stand in their streets and fill the area with song. Minneapolis also has their classical music station, which has a lunchtime concert, but then they record them, and musicians giving lessons, which is really, really cool to see these little concerts and lessons on how to play the violin and how to play the clarinet. And I saw that even the games that the children are playing, and I don't do Minecraft, and my son does Minecraft when he's playing with his cousins. They had a big concert on Saturday. How does a digital game have a concert on Saturday? But they did, which is really, really interesting. And what I'm finding in doing the research and listening to these concerts is we as musicians, we always strive for perfection, right? Like we'll say to our kids, that wasn't quite right. Can you fix that for us? That sound wasn't good. And what we're finding in this whole community of music is the perfection, the virtuosity is not what's important right now. What's important right now is simply making the sound and communicating and being together, even digitally like this.
It's really neat to see that value shift, right? Like our priorities globally have shifted. It's not about perfection anymore. It's about connection.
Yeah.
And so you can see that reflected in some of these online platforms.
There we are. It's not about perfection. It's about connection. And here we are.
That's right. So in my full-on elementary school teacher fashion, as I said, I am not so good at the technology part of it. I'm much better at taking a song and going, okay, let's do this now, and then let's do this and this and this, and we put it all together. So I had to make some slides.
The best kind of slides.
Oh,
there you go. So I made some slides that are as technical as I like to get. So
beautiful.
Music therapy is absolutely huge, and all of us right now are using music as therapy. Sitting down to play Bach, your kids just listening and finding the music that touches their heart in that moment. That's all music therapy. And there's 5 techniques or 5 steps that we can use music to help us in this difficult time, because it is difficult. And the first one is, of course, find your power song. So I'm going to admit this right now because it's what I had planned to admit, but now I'm a little embarrassed about it because you're going to send this out to
The school
everyone. So
yeah.
My power song right now is by Neil Diamond. It is not Sweet Caroline, but it is Forever in Blue Jeans. And that is my power song. Mona, do you have a power song that you go to right now?
I don't get a lot of say in the playlist that's happening in my house. So I would actually have to say like Into the Unknown from Frozen 2 is a big one in our home right now. And it actually works for me in terms of a power song. So yeah, that's probably my power song.
So the therapists recommend that you find a song that just exemplifies who you are and where you kind of want to be. And that's your
And you want to be forever in blue jeans.
Well, metaphorically forever in blue jeans. Like I'm wearing a dress today. I love wearing dresses. I chase cows in dresses. I love dresses, but it's metaphorically the forever in blue jeans, being down to earth, you know, being real and honest.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Not the hoity-toity.
Showy.
Yeah, not the showy. So that's step one. You find your power song.
Awesome.
So let's move on to slide 2. Here we go.
Make a playlist.
Make a playlist. But this was really, really cool. It is not just any playlist. The make a playlist that the therapists are recommending is you start where you're at right now. Emotionally. You don't start where you want to be. So this morning, I'm being honest. Vulnerable. I woke up, of course, anxious at 5 o'clock because this meeting is happening. Putting on Forever in Blue Jeans is not the song for me to listen to right now. I needed a little bit of Harry Chapin in the morning, and
who's like super melancholy, like heart-wrenching.
Rip your heart out kind of stuff regularly in all of his songs. So I need that sort of melancholy, and then I can build up to where I want to be. So what the therapists are recommending is that when you build your playlist, and really for it to be good therapy, we should have several playlists for ourselves. We start where we are emotionally and add a list of songs to go where we want to end up. So on a day like today, I want to end up with the song Walking on Sunshine, right? So, but I don't start with that one. I start with something that might be a little crunchy musically with dissonances and to where I can move into the songs that are happier. So that's
wow. Makes so much sense.
Then this one.
Others are sharing music.
Yes. Now, before I looked this up, I did this with my Magic Voices choir without even realizing that this was an official way to connect with people. I asked my Magic Voices members to share a piece of music that they were listening to right now that touched them. It didn't have to be happy. It didn't have to necessarily be angry or sad or say anything, just music that touched them to help me identify where they're at. And then I posted it on our webpage. And what therapists are recommending with this, instead of just checking in with you, Felicia, I send you a text and I say, hey, how are you doing today? I understand that, I don't know, Willow.
I have 3 daughters at home. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's terrible a lot of days. Yeah.
So then I say, hey, I was listening to this song that just made me feel so warm and cozy inside. Here, have a listen. And that is a fabulous way to build connection using music therapy with each other. I have been going to my brother to actually help me with my music lessons for school because I don't have a lot of time to let the kids listen tons. Like I do music listening every music class, but with the way that music is set up right now, they don't want to sit and practice little songs. They'd rather listen. So I went to my brother and I said, hey, I need songs on frogs. I need songs on rabbits that don't have to do with drugs. I I need songs that are a bit edgy for my grade sixes. And he sent me like 200 songs in different categories. Let me tell you, that shared so much about my brother that I didn't even realize just from him sharing music. Like,
yeah. And I have also a group text with two friends from Vocal Collective, our community choir. And we got into a battle of who could find the saddest song, because we were all having one of those wallowing days, like where we just really feel sorry for ourselves. And it was amazing to like, because we'd take turns and it kind of went on for like more than half a day. And we'd listen to this person's saddest song and we'd all like cry emoji at each other. But really having them like, you can see into their heart a little bit. And there's so much connection, again, coming back to that, to see I'm not suffering alone.
Yeah.
Like this is really hard on everybody. And music can just like cut through so many layers so quickly. So it's a really beautiful way.
Yeah. And then
written so well.
What's that?
I said, and written so well. Like half of the pleasure of this interview is the visual art that you put onto our slides. Beautiful.
So the fourth thing, was that the third? I can't remember. Thank you. Keep track for me. The fourth thing is learn a new piece of music or a new instrument. And Mona took the fourth one away from me at the beginning, because she said exactly what it does. It pulls you out of your head. And by out of your head, I mean out of your worries and things into the now. You don't have to worry about yesterday or tomorrow. All you're doing is living in that moment, working on something. And it can be a new song, the Bach, it can be a new instrument.
I have found though it does need to level up a little bit. Because if you're already really good at guitar or something and you're just sitting down to noodle, you can still be thinking about other things.
Right.
So like I had been just sort of chording around on the piano and doing some singer-songwriter stuff, and I was finding like I'm not really present. So I had to level up a bit, and for me that was going back to some really challenging classical music. But for wherever it is, wherever you're at, make sure it's pushing you really to really focus your effort and your brain power.
Yeah. Thank you. That's excellent. So that's that one. And then the last one, and this one is my favorite.
Create your own personal affirmation jingle. Woo, I can't wait to hear about this one.
We're supposed to, the music therapists say, that it can be extremely positive to create your own affirmation jingle. I have one. I didn't know that I was actually doing this, but I didn't write it. But it is one that there is hardly a day that I don't stand in my shower and sing this song, this phrase of the song over and over and over. And it's all about strength. I need strength. So my little jingle is all about strength for the day and getting through the day and whatever challenges I meet. But it can be anything like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Yes, I can, right? Like it can be absolutely any sort of jingle. And I presume it can change as your jingles change and as your needs change. I tend to be a worrier. Not tend, I am.
She's a worrier.
A worrier. and
there's lots to worry about right now.
There's lots to worry about right now, and yet lots not to worry about. And yet I still find things to worry about. And what I didn't realize in preparing for this little talk today, that when you have a jingle in your head that is conscious, that you've made a decision, I want these words to sink in. When you have these words, it pushes the other stuff out. So those little worries that I have, those nagglings, crud, I shouldn't have said that, little thing pushes it out. And I think that's the purpose of the jingle. So there you go. 5 easy things to do to incorporate music into this tough time.
Beautiful.
There.
Wow. That is gorgeous.
My personal affirmation jingle is I Don't Feel Like Dancing by the Scissor Sisters. Because the words are like, it's so incongruous, right? Like, I don't feel like dancing, but it's like such a dancey beat. So it's
Right.
kind of, I don't feel like doing today, but I'm going to do today anyway, and I'm going to rock it.
There you go. Personal jingle. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, for all of the challenges and obstacles and worry that you put into doing this video with me this morning, you certainly have rocked it, ladies. Like, completely rocked it, even through technical delays here.
It's because I'm here. It causes, I think I have a pixie in my body that causes weird little technical glitches. Yeah, I didn't feed it properly. Well, we actually prepared a song to share. And we do have a little round that we could teach you if you'd like at the end, but I have to quit talking first. So we chose this round because it's about the planet. And I forget that there is more in this world than just the 3 people that live in my house. We're all a little bit isolated. We're all a little bit lonely. We're all feeling off. And this little song called This Pretty Planet just reminds us that this big, beautiful world is ours. This pretty planet spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant spinning around all through the night. Safe till the morning light. This pretty planet spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue water spinning around. Golden sun going down, gentle till the morning light. This pretty planet spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant spinning around. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant spinning around. All through the night, safe till the morning light.
I am so moved by that. Oh, my heart is so full. I just feel like I am the most blessed person in the whole entire world right now to have taken in that moment. That was just literally delightful, like full of light and beauty. And I'm so I've always been on the receiving end. I'm going to get really emotional here. I've always been on the receiving end of all of the choir performances that you all have put together. And it's so wonderful to watch you two interact as sisters. That's really beautiful. And it's just a neat and amazing thing to get to take in such an authentic part of who you both are. I can see why so many students have learned so easily from the two of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You two are so cute. You're so cute. Like there's a body bubble on there.
We can do it.
We were going to teach you around.
Oh gosh. Okay. Now I'm nervous and in the worry. I gotta be in the moment.
You can mute yourself. So
okay.
You can mute, so don't feel like you have to sing with us. I know the lessons I put together for my students, this is how I do it with them. Because it can be very nerve-wracking singing by yourself to a screen. So that's the E.
So I'll sing with you, Felicia.
Okay.
Josephine will sing the lead, and then we'll echo, and then we'll put it together.
Okay, that sounds great.
What song is it?
Rain is falling on the windowsill. Goes like this. We'll sing it through once first.
Together?
Together.
Okay.
Rain is falling on the windowsill. Clouds are covering the night. I will hold you till the storm is over, till you wake into the light. So that's the song.
Wow.
So I'll sing the first
But
bit.
think about the metaphor of the words when we sing it again. It's so beautiful. Okay, go ahead.
So I'll sing the first part and then
I'll echo.
echo.
And Felicia, you sing with me.
Yes,
On mute if you wish.
Yes, thank you.
Rain is falling on the windowsill.
Rain is falling on the windowsill.
Clouds are covering the night.
Clouds are covering the night.
I will hold you till the storm is over.
I will hold you till the storm is over.
Till you wake into the light.
Till you wake into the light.
So that's it.
I just got some cardio work in there. I'm sweating and my heart's going really fast. Thank you, ladies.
Okay, and then we'll put it together really quick.
Yeah. And this is the fun part now, because we're going to do it in a round. So you may choose whomever you're going to sing with. So you can sing with me or you can sing with Mona. And we're going to do it just twice, I think. So
You start.
I'll start. And then Mona will come in at the very next phrase.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So choose whomever you'd like to sing with.
Okay, thanks.
Rain is falling on the windowsill. Clouds are covering. Till the storm is over, till you wake into the night. Rain is falling on the windowsill. Clouds are covering the night. I will hold you till the storm is over, till you wake into the night.
I will hold you till the storm is over,
Till you wake into the light. Yay!
Gosh, that felt so good. I feel fabulous.
Yay!
Thank you, ladies. This is
welcome.
awesome. This has been the most, seriously, just such a fun morning, ladies. I'm so excited for other people at home to try one of those rounds.
Yay! It's wonderful. So for those of you watching at home, you can look the rounds up on the internet. This Pretty Planet is by Tom Chapin, and
the October Project.
The October Project does
A book of rounds.
A book of
Tons of
rounds. And it's called Rain. And what people are saying on the comment section at October Project is the Book of Rounds is perfect music for COVID. It's so healing and soothing. So there you go. We're sharing our music because we both love October Project rounds.
Thank you, ladies. Forever, forever, that we may all enjoy this light today, that you all have just completely reflected in your voices, through your voices, and through your beautiful slides this morning.
Thanks, Felicia.
Okay, have a wonderful weekend, ladies.
You too.
Thank you again for the gift today.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.